Now, this is pretty nuts. We see stuff like this. It's like, if you're going to be a teacher or some type of public health thing or something, don't fucking do it. Look, don't do OnlyFans or some shit like that. I mean, if you really, you should go be an escort before you do some shit like this. If you want to have a job like that, especially not just that, but she taking videos and pictures in the school, and it's like, oh, I got fired. Like, oh, you think like, oh, what? Like, how the fuck are you going to argue with this? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said, like, I mean, like, do your thing. You feel me? Like, but if you gonna get into this type of shit, you better be real careful about how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was tripping. And I didn't even look through this, but I brought this up because I've seen, like, not a ton, because obviously, like, the overwhelming majority of teachers and nurses and stuff or whatever aren't doing stuff like this. Like, oh, I'm gonna make a flick on the property, like at my job. Obviously, again, most people aren't doing that, but whenever you see stories like this, it's like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, what were you thinking? Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, I've dated strippers. I'm cool with strippers. I ain't got no problem with sex workers. But again, it's like, for like, if I were to get into that, like if I were to get into porn, like what else am I going to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all my other aspirations basically down the drain, like the fuck I'm going to be teaching a bunch of kids, but it's videos of me piping women down online and busting nuts all over people. No, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's no. And I'm sorry for the graphic imagery, but come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm all for being progressive, but not ridiculous. Like, Jesus Christ. But nah, this shit is just funny. I really don't have that much more commentary about it, because again, I don't know her, and I'm not gonna sit here and talk. But again, it's like, come on, what are you doing? You work with fucking 5 and 6 year olds, like. She probably is making more doing that. That's why I said it's like, yo, but then again, it's like there's always pros and cons to everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were to, like, if you're gonna do stuff like sex work, well, not even just sex work, but if you're gonna be like an OnlyFans model, it's best to have like a lot of charisma, especially in today's climate. Like, because again, if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna be public facing. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be public facing and there's videos of you naked and doing sexual stuff all online, you're gonna have to make money doing shit like this, like streaming and entertaining people. You're not gonna get hired at a fucking hospital or a school or some job where, because people don't need to be thinking about you like that at work. They just don't. Like, if you're at work, you can't say, oh, you should be more mature. Like, you're online getting nuts busted on you. Like, so again, that's reality. Like, there's some things that just won't change that much, and this is one of them. So if you're gonna do shit like this, I'm all for it. But you're gonna need some charisma. Because you're gonna get older. You're not gonna be in your fucking early 20s forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, the realities of shit like this is like, you gotta keep on advancing and adapting and doing crazier shit so that people can stay watching you. And then, let's be serious, the majority of people who are funding you are weird fucking creeps. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the guys who are giving women, who are blowing these women up with all this money, are weird creeps. So you're gonna have to deal with that. You feel me? Like, all the strippers that I've dated and my stripper friends now, like, that shit does shit. That shit be fucking their heads up, man. Like, did they end up like really having like negative relationships with men? And how can you blame them? Because for work, they're fucking shaking their asses in front of gross, weird ass dudes. You feel me? Who are disrespectful and drunk and belligerent. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to everything, but it's like, you really can't do anything you want in life. There are consequences for things, and sometimes the consequences make sense. And yeah, no, if you're gonna be a fucking elementary school teacher, you probably shouldn't have an OnlyFans. And if you do, you probably shouldn't, record sex clips on the school grounds. So I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, let's be serious. But yeah, no, man, it's even the same thing. Like my experience, like I sold drugs for almost a decade. This shit ain't all it's cracked up to be either, at all. A lot of it, we glamorize so many things, but there's so much gray area to shit. And sex work, definitely. While I support it and while we should respect sex workers more, that shit is not all fucking roses. It is not. It really isn't.